some basic information. So like your start and stop, which most of the new cars have. I'm not talking about the electric world, but hybrids, diesels, petrols, you name it, has them. So the point here today is we're just going to go through some basic information, okay, in terms of why your start and stop may not work, what you need to do, and we'll just kind of flick through in that sense. So irrelevant of this car, okay, irrelevant of this vehicle, I'm just going to guide you through. So if your start and stop doesn't work, we'll start off with that, and you're having trouble, the car's probably draining battery and whatnot, first thing we'd say is test your battery, see if it's holding charge, see if it's good. If that passes, obviously check your fuse boards, make sure there's no corrosion, because a common problem nowadays is like corrosion, or a fuse is gone and it's not the best, it's whatever. Anyway, check them, and if they're fine, happy days, and no fuse has been blown, good. The other thing we'd say is check your alternator, make sure that that is fine, that it's charging, it's, you know, producing power, and it's going to the battery. But one thing I'll say is battery does need changing every few years. Like, it depends, some manufacturers say 2 years, some say 3, some say 5, but it really depends how it's been treated, how it's used, in other words. My recommendation would be, a lot of you will say, yeah, I'll just get a cheap battery and slap it on. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to get original battery. So if it's a start and stop, you have to get a start and stop. You can't just get any other battery, because it will not work, and it's going to cause issues. So for example, I've seen others in the past where they've just gone and just got a battery and put it on. For example, BMW, I'm going to use as an example because I've worked on a lot of BMs, and if you don't put the original 90 like the AGM batteries, what's going to happen if it's auto, the gearbox is going to judder. The gears are not going to be smooth. You're going to have drivetrain warning. You're going to have issues. So it's no good. That's why we say, please get OEM original. Yes, it's going to cost you a few quids, but it's better than having to spend more money thinking you've not resolved the issue. Now, what can I say? There are, like we said, the battery, check this, holding charge. Sometimes the start and stop malfunction will be just the fact that there is something going on within the start-stop system. It could be a wiring, it could be the switch. That we would recommend you look into. But the most common issue is the battery that goes dead. So just look at it. If so, change it. Done, dusted, really. And make sure that it's not, because I know some vehicles have auxiliary battery as well. So Mercs do, and they do drain the battery badly. So just double check. Make sure you've not left anything else on the car, so that, yeah, lighting, interior, the radio's working after, or the fans working in that sense. So these are things just to check for. But yeah, like we said, guys, if the start and stop doesn't work, and also remember, when you do put a new battery on, it's also recommended you do a coded in, because new cars like BMs, Mercs, Audi, Skoda, VW, all these new cars, when you change the battery, you have to code it in, otherwise the start and stop will not work. And if it does work, it's just your luck, you're very lucky, otherwise it doesn't. But that's where I'll end it on this one, guys. I mean, a decent battery voltage has to be like around 14 and a half. That's like your perfect charging. Anything above like 15 volts, then maybe alternator is overcharging. Anything lower than 13.2 volts, that means it's a weak alternator. That's just tips for you guys to know. Make sure they're all good. Oh yeah, there are many. I'm trying to think. To be fair, my brain's gone blank, but I'm sure there is a lot of other things you can check for. So yeah, battery above 75% charge, battery temperature within the safe range, health alternator, no fault codes as well. You got to double check as well, see if there is nothing in the BCM, the engine control unit, that's triggering it. The start and stop as well will trigger, like, it will cause issue in terms of DPF not regenerating as well, or the engine warming up, cabin heating as well, the fans. The fan, I know on Merc, on the Sprinters, because I don't know why they made them back in days like that, but because of the fact that it wasn't bringing a lot of charge through to the fan, you weren't able to turn it on, in other words, sometimes. So they refused it. I can't remember how it was done. It's been a long time since I worked on them Sprinters, but there is a switch you put on and it allows you to bypass that. Yeah, there you are, guys. I'll leave you to it. Any questions, pop it below. We'll get back to you all.